right, say hey everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquet. Alongside me for his first journey around the sun here. Oh, and there we go. And we sound better now. Is my guy Troy Torrence. Troy Torrence joining the program. Troy, it's nice to see you. I'm excited you're here. I consider you the king of the database, king of the market. And I'm excited to talk these spots out with you, Troy. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, dude. MLB's been kind of a roller coaster. I'm up 2.93 units, but it's a 1% ROI. So I need to get my act together a little bit. You know, I touched on all these games, but I think there's a lot to talk out, man. Let's get to it.
Yeah, shitload to talk out. And I got crushed yesterday, Troy. So I'm going back to my roots, Troy. Going back to my roots. I mean,
well, you know what? Like you said yesterday, there was no market information up until like maybe an hour before.
Yeah.
So, and maybe even closer. Like
it's fucking garbage. Yeah. And of course, Action got a strongly worded email from me, especially after I lost my first few bets. I was very annoyed. And then they were very quick on having them all out to yesterday, actually. So it was very fun. So shout out to bitching and complaining. It gets us somewhere sometimes. It's nice to see everyone in the chat. Nasty Nate in here. Red Sox smash needs to turn to Celtics smash tonight as well. Nasty Nate, shout out to you. Perky Sanderson, our guy Justin McKelvey, first in the chat, dropping a Bucks is his stacks play of the day. Bucks money line, I'm assuming there. Very interesting, Justin McKelvey. Shout out to you as well, and shout out to good old Doc Rivers. Perky Sanderson in the chat, Al Cervic, Prime Time, Joey Harb, Woo, Rizza. Let us begin this action here. Let's talk about the Boston Red Stockings to start this off here, Troy. Josh Winkowski versus Martin Perez, a.k.a. Martin Perez, a.k.a. pretty decent lefty in my book. So it's interesting when we talk about the Red Sox. They're the best first five team, et cetera, but they just continue getting just hammered with injuries, Troy. It's disgusting. Now, they lost another key bat in the lineup, first baseman Tristan Casas on the IL now.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we're dealing with shit. Expected lineup, the Red Sox have not announced one because of, again, Casas being out. Duran, Pablo Reyes, Devers is listed on RotoWire, but he's not going to play. I can almost guarantee that. He'll be back on Tuesday, apparently. Bobby Dahlback, Ref Snyder, Yoshida, Taylor Heineman, who just got called up, Connor Wong, and Rafaela. This lineup is just not good. I will not be backing the Red Sox here. And on top of that, Josh Winkowski is a reliever that they've been trying to make a starter for, well, I don't know. It's been since spring training. They were talking about him being in the starting rotation mix. And it's really weird. I think he's more of a reliever. I'm not a fan of it. I saw that the Pirates were pretty cheap last night, and I didn't move on it. And, minus 140 now is not something I'm going to bet here. I actually had this last night. I thought I saw it around minus 130. Maybe I'm hallucinating because I'm bet online. Opened up at minus 140, went up to 45, and just kind of stayed around minus 140, not minus 143 there. Talking about the side, let's talk about the cash flow since Action on their shit today. 74% of the bets, 56% of the money on the Pirates there. Total, we have 71% of the bets, 67% of the money on the over in that game. And as for the opener in this one, it had 8 minus 110. Actually ticked 5 cents down to the under now. Actually almost minus 120 to 8.5 now. I mean, it makes sense. The Red Sox offense is horrific. So what do you think here, Troy?
I think that one of the Boston teams are going to smash today, but I'm not so sure it's going to be the Boston Red Sox. Nasty Nate, man. Come on with your homer ass. Red Sox, Boston team smash every damn day to him. So Pirates at home facing a sweep. It's funny that, this Pirates team went from a sharp sweetheart to a public sweetheart real fast. And the Pirates this season are undefeated last game of a home series. The Red Sox are undefeated last game of a road series. Both pitchers, middle of the pack. They kind of profile as very similar pitchers, in my opinion, in terms of ERA, expected ERA. Kind of just inning eater pitchers, starters, in my opinion. Perez got good numbers year to date, great numbers versus the Red Sox. And Winkowski, he really only played, went up against Brian Reynolds, who's absolutely hammered him historically with, I think he's 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and 2 doubles. But from a market standpoint, when you start plugging this into the database, I find some pretty interesting things. And it's a little bit conflicting because it depends on what book you're looking at. The one I track has this moving towards the Pirates. Pinnacle actually opened this and moved it towards the Red Sox. But my database definitely says the Pirates is the right side of this game. You got bigger bets on the road team, sharp action on the road team, and market moves towards the home team. And in this case, I see a small move towards the home team, less than 10 cents. I don't know where you've seen it open, Jose, but I see a less than 10 cents for the book I track. The home team is 10-3 straight up. And if you add 60% of bets on the over, the home team is 5-1 straight up, 5-1 on the run line. There are some iterations of the database that would make this more of a 50-50 spot, but based on where it currently sits, to me, there's only one way to play this game, and it'd be the Pirates. And I think the price is kind of suggesting that, opening where it did and moving the way it has. I wouldn't mind a Pirates bet. And I think this is really close to break even at the same time. So I think the Pirates, based on what I put together, I think the Pirates win this game 62% of the time. You need 58% to break even in this game, so there's value on the Pirates. I want to move on the Pirates. I was hoping to hear you were moving on the Pirates, and I was going to move with you.
Well, I think the Pirates are the right side here. It's just like I don't want to bet the minus 140. And you probably know, Troy, I don't bet run lines anymore. I'm retired from that game. I hung up my boots and I gave up. I put my gloves in the center of the ring when I'm betting minus ones there. So I just don't want to lay the juice, honestly. And I do think the Red Sox, can sweep the Pirates here. So that's another thing that's scary. I just think the Red Sox are ultimately better, but I don't know. By the way, someone, I forgot who it was, already asked about bullpen. The Red Sox bullpen is pretty rested. Chris Martin and Kelly Jansen went yesterday. They're their best guys. So I'd be a little surprised if they went today, but the bullpen for the Red Sox is pretty solid. The issue, of course, is today it might be a mini bullpen day in its own right, because I'd be surprised if Winkowski went more than 3 innings. Like 3 innings would probably be like really ideal here, but it's a bullpen day. I'll be interested to see how it goes, but no action here for me. Troy leaning and wants to bet the Pirates. Looking for some Pirates love in the chat, hopefully, to get them there, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not seeing many people on the Pirates. I think I see
no one wants to bet this fucking game.
No one wants to bet this game, so let's move on.
No one wants to fucking bet this game. All right, let's go to the minus 300 fade again. Yesterday's did not go well. Zach Wheeler shoved it up the White Sox ass for 8 innings. I thought I was going to bet the opposite side of a no-hitter again. And I would have been like, damn, that's 2 times this year already that I've bet teams and they've gotten no hit. But yeah, no, I'm on the White Sox here. I don't have to give the whole spiel. Everyone knows the deal at this point. Actually, what's funny, the White Sox are down to, or the Phillies are down to minus 290 on my book. Very interesting. So maybe I shouldn't be so hasty about this minus 300 fade, because this is an interesting line here. Let's talk it out a little more. Okay, so I know everyone, when they pull up this game, the first question everyone's asking is, who the fuck is Nick Nastrini? Now, I would ask our guy Wine Time Sports, because he's a former UCLA guy, but that guy's getting married today. So shout out to Wine Time Sports. Congratulations. L'chaim, whatever they say, whatever you say around your parts.
So he's in the gutter, probably fucking over today.
Oh, he's already got married yesterday. Well, there you go. Even better. Hold on, Troy. You know what that means. Congrats on the sex, Wine Time. Congrats.
Yeah,
congrats. Good job, Wine Time.
On the child, on the conception.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. That's very Italian right there. Right there. That's a good thought. So shout out to you, Wine Time. All right, but let's talk about Nastrini. He started already a game once this year against the Royals, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run on 5 Ks and 2 walks. This is obviously his first year in the majors, came from the Dodgers. I'm going to be very interested to see how he pitches here. Market in this game, let's chat about it. And Aaron Nola on the other side. I think Aaron Nola, we know what we're getting from good old Nola here. 96% of the bets, 92% of the money on the Philadelphia Phillies. Unsurprising there. On Bet Online, this opened up. I mean, Jesus. This opened up at minus 275, Troy. Yep. On Bet Online, it got all the way up to minus 325.
Jesus.
And then something happened, and now it's minus 280. That went down from minus 285 up to 290, 285, and 280 again. Very interesting indeed. Let's check out what our friends at Bovada did with this, because Bet Online loves moving their fucking lines. They just think it's hilarious to just keep moving it up and down, back and forth. It's quite annoying. They opened up at minus 300 as well. They also got up to minus 335, minus 345 at 10:24 in the morning here. And then it also dropped here in the last 20 minutes, about 20 cents for some reason, to the White Sox. Very interesting. Very interesting. Troy, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on this game. I mean, are we serious right now, Jose? You're going to be betting a team that probably should be demoted to the AAA? This team's just an embarrassment to Major League Baseball. And
as a Chicago guy, I'm sure you feel especially this.
I mean, I went to De La Salle Institute, which is a block away from Comiskey Park. You know, when Paul Konerko hit home runs back in the day, I would hear the fireworks. I could see them. You know what I mean? So this White Sox team is very close to me. I've probably been to more Sox games than I have Cubs games. It's because the tickets are cheaper and it was in my backyard. But I think the
food's better.
And the food's better. Absolutely. That's the truth, by the way. That's
truth.
That little area right there, that Bridgeport area, there's a lot of good food.
But, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. I think the Phillies are finally starting to heat up. There's Perky in the chat. He's another South Side guy, bro. What's good, Perk? My guy right there. Nastrini, I don't know what to expect. I really don't. It really doesn't matter. Nola's good, but that really doesn't matter. This is an easy Philly spot. I parlayed it with the Dodgers. This is fitting my criteria for a cash cow trend, especially now that it's under 300. Oh. It's funny, though. It's funny that you like to pick on the 300 favorites, because there's definitely a significant change in the outcomes once you get past that 300 level. So I actually prefer it to be under 300, but at the same time, it doesn't matter, because when you start filtering down to when the total's less than 8 and you got these big favorites, market moving towards them, I mean, it's a very small sample, but in this specific market, I have a 3-0 spot for the Phillies. Each win was by 5 runs or more, and the most recent being the Mariners winning by margin. So, yeah, I parlayed this with the Dodgers.
Interesting. All right. I'll probably stay off now that it's not 300 here, and I'm not getting the best prices here. But that drop to the White Sox is interesting. You know, I'm not going to lie, Troy. I think the White Sox this year specifically would be a top 5 stadium I'd want to go to, just because there's not a fucking soul in that building. No one's going to those fucking games. So you can just go there and fucking stretch out, put your fucking balls on the chair in front of you. It'd be great. It's awesome. So
yeah, you could probably get in for like $10 after the first pitch. And what was I about to say? What I was about to say about this? Oh, yeah. Go back to when the White Sox won the World Series in 2005. Their home attendance was still only 11th in the MLB. I mean, this is not, I don't know if it's because of the location where it's at, like, you know what I mean? Surrounded by ghettos. But, yeah, whatever. Phillies.
Shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy, Ozzie Guillen, though. My Ozzie guy, that's my fucking king. I would die for Ozzie Guillen. If someone tried to shoot at him and I was there, I'd jump in front of that bullet so fast. Jesus Christ. Shout out to my guy, Ozzie Guillen. I fucking love that guy. By the way, Perky and Slim Fabo, Bridgeport, stand up. Chicago, well represented here, apparently.
Oh, shit. Fabo's in the chat. That's my guy right there. Surprised he's checking in with some MLB. I'm surprised.
Well, you know, maybe he'll find his basketball play. I'm assuming basketball because of the Bulls picture. But I'm assuming he's here for a basketball player too. Shout out to him. I didn't realize, Troy, by the way. Obviously, I'm deep into the baseball. I had no idea there was 8 NBA games today. I was like, what? Really?
Slim Fable right now. He's one or two blocks away from Comiskey from Sox Park. So he's like literally in the back.
Slim, you got to go to the game. It's fucking $10. Just go there and get the fucking big ass ice cream shake, the milkshake. That's all you need there. Shout out to them. All right, let's go to this Astros Nationals game here, and we do have a pitching change. Christian Javier out, Hunter Brown in. Christian Javier, I think he said, I think I read that he woke up with neck tightness, neck stiffness. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So Hunter Brown now getting the start here against Mitchell Parker. And we've talked about Hunter Brown before and his ridiculous home road splits to start the season. But he went home last start, and in a start that truly I thought that was kind of like a layup, bounce back, young player, home start. Like, it would be easy for him to come back there. But it was against the Braves. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run. So shout out to him. He bounced back, but that 2 starts on the road this year, getting crushed both times. A very funny 34.36 road ERA compared to a 1.8 home ERA is going to be funny to see how that develops here. But yeah, truthfully, I feel the same way everyone else in the chat does. Like, now that Hunter Brown is in this game, I was like, oh boy, am I going to back the Nats here? Because we've talked about it. The Nats can swing it. They've been a very solid offensive team this year. It's been kind of funny to watch. And, I will admit, whenever I watch the Nats, it feels like only CJ Abrams is the good hitter. So I don't know how they do it, but 9th this year so far against righties, 106 weighted runs created plus. Again, not bad, not good. Well, it is good, but it's not like amazing. But still, I mean, Hunter Brown has been horrible this year. I'm very interested in it. The market in this game is going to be kind of fucked because, obviously late pitching change, but 81% of the bets, 85% of the money on the Astros. And that's, kind of unsurprising because of the Nationals factor in this. This line opened up at minus 175, according to BetOnline. And, now we're seeing minus 160. Maybe that's just a pitching change. I probably assume that. But yeah, I do want to back the Nationals here in some form or fashion here. What do you think here, Troy?
This is unfortunate because I wanted to be on the Nationals as well, but that's before this pitching change. And that's just because, like, when you start looking through how these teams are priced and how they perform, I want the dogs that are over plus 150. They perform better, especially when the market's moving towards them. Because prior to this, we had the home dog of like 156. The market was moving towards them. And in that profile, there was an extremely great amount of value. You see a bunch of 50-50 trends, but you're getting 50-50 on a plus 150. That's incredible value. At this point, I do still see a much smaller sample, a 6 and 5 spot in favor of the home team, which is still incredible value. However, I just don't trust it under the 150. I just feel like I need a little bit more with how the Astros profile versus left-handed pitchers. And this kid had a great start in his first start. I mean, he's probably going to get crushed eventually. Like, it's probably coming. Might come today. It's Nationals or pass, but I'm not going to be betting this game. I thought I'd be betting this game today, but I don't like it anymore, honestly, with the pitching change.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows I've been trying to fade Christian Javier this year, and he especially has stuck it up my ass and just told me to go fuck myself because he's been pitching phenomenally this year. But
so you feel different. So you see he's out the game. You're like, oh no, it looks a little bit better.
Well, I again, like, admittedly, I want to fade him, and losing in the bets that I have and him pitching so dominant has made me scared, but I still think he's going to get touched up at some point in the season. Like, he's going to get worn down, and then his pitches aren't going to work anymore, and then we'll work from there. But I truthfully think this is probably like a Nats team total spot for me, if anything. I don't have it listed up on my site yet, so I can't see it. I would love if it was a 3.5. That'd be great. Just give me a 3.5 minus 110, and we'll rock and roll from there. But I don't have it listed up yet. We'll come back to it when I see it later, hopefully. But no action for me. Von Polo likes the Nats. He's taking a money line and plus 1.5. Rizzo took the Nats. He got him plus 1.5, minus 102 when Javier was listed.
Damn. Like, here's my thing too. Here's what's in the back of my mind is when I back these home dogs or any type of dog that you're getting significant plus value on, I have not been successful, man. I lost with the Rockies yesterday. I lost with the White Sox earlier in the season. I lose. I'm probably 0-6 betting dogs of plus 150 or more. And it's in other sports, like in the NFL, my ROI betting dogs of plus 150 or more on the money line is ridiculous. I can't seem to hit them in MLB. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm probably going to be off this game.
Okay, fair enough. I lean Nats. We'll come back to it when I see a team total. Next game on our slate, the New York Yankees. My New York Yankees, apparently, I haven't bet on them in a while and haven't spouted their greatness in a little bit, but they've been playing well. They lost to the Rays yesterday in a funny fashion. I did laugh against these Rays. It's hilarious. I think in my head, Aaron Savale and Zach Eflin are the same exact human part. Like I can't distinguish them from my heads. And it's quite funny to me. And I just, do I really want to back the Yankees here again? I mean, I've backed them a lot with Luis Gil on the bump, truthfully. And it's been quite funny. Maybe it's because when Gil comes up, the Yankees get cheaper prices and he still pitches pretty decently. Perhaps 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs against the Blue Jays, in a back-to-back spot. Jesus. It's six strikeouts, 7 walks in that game. My God. In the first spot against the Blue Jays, 4 1/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, 4 walks. This guy fucking loves walking dudes. I mean, at least he's not giving up hits. 3 hits, 2 hits, 1 hits in his 3 starts. Not bad, but 7 walks, 4 walks, 3 walks. Yikes. Okay.
What are you talking about? Gil or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is shocking. You don't see that out often. Market in this game, it's quite funny. I think action, this is the first time I've seen it, and I think I'll just let action fuck this up, I guess. But 90% of the bets on the Yankees, and it literally says 100% of the money on the Yankees. So we're just going to take that as like a 99% spot, which is quite funny. As for the opener in this game, this opened up at minus 122. It's up to minus 128. I don't love that it's not moved that much. If I was the Yankees better, I'd want like at least minus 140, to be honest, at this point. Totals wise, 68% of the bets on the over, 72% of the money on the over in this game. We opened up at a 9, but we opened up at a 9 minus 120 to the under on Bet Online. So you could really tell me that opened up at an 8 because it's quickly moved to 8.5 and been there. Now juiced to 8.5 under on Bet Online. That was Bet Online, on Bovada. This opened up at 8.5 under minus 105 here. Now you've got minus 115 bouncing around. So thinking could be a good start for both these guys. I'm still off this game, though. I just didn't see any advantages or edges here. I didn't want to lay the juice on a spot where I had to bet with 99% of the money or 100% of the money, if you'll believe action. So, again, no action here for me, Troy. Eric Jones saying the Yankees are 15-4 straight up on this spot here and saying the same thing for the over 15-7 there as well. Troy, what do you think?
I mean, both these pitchers, I really wanted to bet this game as well. I mean, both these pitchers have great numbers year to date. Both expected ERAs are around 2.4. But Savali's got pretty bad numbers against this Yankees lineup. They're averaging 333 with a 1.009 OPS. 2 righties, and the Yankees are 4th in weighted runs created plus. The Rays are 11th in weighted runs created plus. But both teams have fallen off against right-handed pitching the past few weeks. And there's plenty of money on this over, which makes me want the under right away. I mean, I personally believe the Yankees are the right side off a loss. I think they have a better pitching matchup, especially when you look at pitcher versus batter history, and the market's moving their direction. So when you plug this into the database, home favorites between minus 140 and minus 120. That's 10 cents each way. And the line moved 10 cents or less, because that's something that I noticed too, and something I want to factor into my handicap is how much is that line moving with all the money on one side. So home favorites between 140 and 120. Line moved 10 cents or less. The home team is 40-28, 59%. And minus 130, we need about 57%. So you got, in my opinion, a little bit of value, 2% of value there. But in that same sample, if you had 80% of the bets and the cash as on the home team, the road team's actually 4-2 straight up in that sample. So within that much broader 70-game sample, you put the 80% parameters in, the home team's actually a losing proposition. And by the way, Yankees don't perform well as a short home favorite. I am not moving on this game. I guess I would be on the Rays or nothing, but I really wanted to back the Yankees, to be honest.
Fair. Troy, I don't remember if you were in the chat for this back in the day. I forgot about this actually already, but our friend Eric Jones is back in the chat. He's a member, so I respect him. But the first chat bet we had was Justin McElvey versus Eric Jones. And Eric, Justin wanted me to ask you if that $50 is ever going to come his way, Eric. We want to know that. He wants to find out officially if that $50 will be paid out, or if we're just going to act like that never happened. If we're just going to do that, that also, it's okay. But Eric, I still respect.
I remember this discussion. It's been how long now?
It's been a while. It's been like 2 years. It's been so long.
Between Justin McElvey and Eric Jones.
Yes.
Oh
yeah. And Eric Jones said, "Yeah, when you send it to him." So there you go. Yeah, there's Justin. There's your answer right there. And I believe Eric has Justin blocked too, so it makes it even funnier to me. So all right, shout out to both of you gentlemen. I'm glad you guys are both still in the chat as well. And man, funny times in the chat. Funny times. All right, let's go to another game that man, I was really pissed off that I lost this Angels bet yesterday. The Angels scored 2 runs immediately. I'm feeling great about myself, and then Sandoval just lets it run down his legs and gives up a grand slam, and I was like, Jesus Christ. He pitched generally fine after that, but in my head, Troy, I don't know about you, but when one of my pitchers I bet on gives up like 7 runs in an inning, I just chalk that up like, you know what, whatever. I'm like, that's not a loss that I'll particularly like hang my head over, because I'll make that bet again, because what are the odds he gives up 7 runs in one fucking inning again? So right. I take my L on that one, but I wouldn't mind backing the Angels here again, truthfully. Jose Soriano, because everyone in the fucking chat, when Jimmy and I talk about this guy, Wine Time, I know, again, he's in the gutter right now, probably just fucked too much last night. He always said that, like, Jose Soriano is a good pitcher. He's going to be a great pitcher. He's got the shit to do it, but I just never know what to do with this guy. I never know when to back him, if I want to back him. He went 5 innings, 1 hit, 5 walks, 6 Ks there, and a 1-run performance there in his last time out, and a back-to-back against the Rays as well. So back-to-backs are hard. I respect him coming back after a kind of a shaky start and pitching well against Frankie Montas, who we haven't seen Frankie in a little bit now. I feel like he's coming off the IL. I feel like I haven't seen him in ages. But
no, he's pitched. I think he's made 2 starts.
Yes, he's made 3 starts this month, but his last start was 2 innings. I guess that's why I don't remember it. 2 innings, 3 hits, 5 earned runs on 2 home runs there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, his last 2 starts have not been good. Very interesting. I just have forgotten about this guy completely after his amazing 2 starts to start off. He's fallen off. Maybe, again, Seattle, a tough one. And Milwaukee has been hitting the ball well, so maybe you can excuse it there. But Frankie has not been the guy that he opened up the season as. Truthfully, I'd lean Angels, like I said. Let's go to the market. Hilarious. 81% of the bets and 81% of the money on the Reds here. And please tell me this line has dropped to the Angels here. Open up at -135, now -123 at Bet Online, it seems like. Oh boy. Let's check on our friends at Bovada real quick here. Open up at -138. Yep. They're also at -123. Let's check if we have confirmed lineups for both squads here as well. We do. Trout is in the lineup. That's really all I care about. And homeboy Anthony Rendon pulled his hamstring, I believe, yesterday. So he's out. And by the way, we all shit on Rendon. I would like to give him a shout out because I saw him busting his ass in a couple of games when I was betting the Angels, and I respected it. So shout out to Anthony Rendon. He's actually going to be missed in the lineup. But I like the Angels here, Troy. I might be on the Angels. What do you think?
No, I mean, we talked about a similar price range just this last game. When you see all this public sentiment and cash on one side and the market's not really reacting very much, it always favors the road team in this price range because that's not always the case. But at home this season, I mean, how about the Reds too? I mean, another team that's risen through the ranks of public sentiment. These Reds, definitely. I mean, you could look at the Reds in the database, you filter down to that team, and you could see, you know, I have the little bar graph that tells you what percentage of bets is on them. You'll just see it rising as time goes on. Just more and more public sentiment on this team, and the Reds have averaged about 75% of bets in my sample. The Reds at home have averaged 75% of the bets. They're currently 81 now, and they haven't actually been profitable as a public home team. 9-13 straight up with 60% plus of bets in the last 25, which I think is a reasonable sample. On the other hand, we have the Angels, who I can't seem to get right. I can't bet this Angels team and win. I don't know what it is. Some people don't believe in shit like this, but I'll tell you what. I think magical unicorn fairy dust does exist. I think some teams you align with in the matrix, some teams you don't align with in the matrix. And it's just better if you stay off, because if I bet on the Angels and lost again, I'll lose my fucking mind. I do give a slight edge to the Reds from a pitcher's perspective, but that's just based on what I've seen from Soriano. I don't know very much about the kid. And this is definitely one of the toughest price ranges to bet, in my opinion. This was an easy pass for me.
Yeah, God, I think I might be back on the Angels train here and ask them to go give me my fucking money back. Very interesting because, yeah, obviously, again, I lost in the first 5 full game yesterday. So this would be a go get my fucking money back situation. Very interesting on the market for the total as well. 80% of the bets and 83% of the money on the over in this game. But I'm seeing again, our friends at Bet Online here, it's at a 9 now. Juice to the over, but a 9 is very interesting. It started at 9.5, minus 115 to the under. And yeah, it's climbed. It went all the way to minus 110 and then dropped down to the 9 there. So that's very interesting talking about or seeing that public spot there and the line going down. So I think I'll probably be on the Angels here. And what's interesting, Troy, and I had someone on Twitter comment to this, is that they think, the markets are completely different on the weekend than they are on the weekdays. And maybe your database can do some research on how the markets are behave and affect the outcomes on the weekend specifically, because I mean, I had some spots, and again, action was down, and shout out to our guy Smoking Mirrors for giving us the VSiN numbers, but there felt like a lot of spots yesterday. There was a shitload of money on the one side, the market's moving to the other side, and it's still cash. So I'll be on first 5 full game Angels here.
I'm actually very interested in that too. My wife actually, the other day, what was it? I forget what holiday it was. She bet all the overs because
Your wife bet all the overs?
She bet every over, and she went 9-1 in the NBA one day. And it was a holiday. It was I forget what holiday it was, and there was 10 games on, and she went 9-1. Well, she only had one loss. I don't know if it was 10 or 8 games, but she went 7-1 or 9-1 and won just ridiculous amounts of money. But there's definitely something to it. I haven't spent enough time with it to speak to it specifically, but I made a note. I'll look into it and see what I can bring.
All right, beautiful. I'm on Angels, first 5 plus 105, full game plus 107 for me. Troy, when is your wife going to get on the show and give us her gambling expertise? Now I'm interested in the fucking 9-1. Damn.
9. She bets. She had 10 bets in the past like 5 months, and she went 9-1.
Wow. So, yeah. Hey, respect to Mrs. Torrence there. Oakland A's, Cleveland Guardians in primetime 99.
Wait, did you see Professor Chris's comment? His model has a ceiling for runs in the game of 24.
What?
Which makes me want to go back and look at the over. So I'll touch back on that. But go ahead, we can move on.
What? 24, Professor Chris. I'd love to hear that. Maybe, let's look. Is there weather Chris, is the wind blowing out there? I haven't looked at the weather today for these spots, but god damn, 24 runs. I mean, it's 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out according to RotoWire, and it is Great American. So yeah, okay, all right, I see that. That's crazy. All right, let's go to this Cleveland Guardians game and the Oakland A's. Ross Stripling. I was at least dead on about the Guardians winning yesterday. Fortunately, the Astros couldn't close the second leg of that parlay we had. But the Guardians won. It was pretty easy, a little sweaty at times, but they ended up getting the work done. Tanner Bybee versus Ross the Boss Stripling. Ross Stripling 0-4 now, unfortunately for Ross. And I bet you he fucking hates his life in Oakland. He's like, why the fuck am I doing this? 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. Not bad. Start against the Cardinals last time out at home. At the Rangers, he got destroyed. 6 innings, 11 hits, 6 earned runs. And then dominated the Red Sox. 7 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run there. Of course, the Red Sox were the team that he dominated. I just, again, this is another one of those spots. Like, do I really want to back the Oakland A's here and have faith in them? Tanner Bybee on the other side here, and I love these young pitchers that the Guardians have. Truthfully, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run against the Red Sox. Got touched up against the White Sox of all people. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. No wonder he pitched well against the Red Sox right after. When you get touched up against the White Sox, I mean, that's like the flash sign. Like, hey, I need to get my shit. Yeah, I need to get my shit together here. At Minnesota, he dominated. It's funny. All of his starts, aside from that White Sox series or game, was on the road there. And the opposite for my guy, Ross Stripling. All of his starts are at home, except for the Rangers start where he got touched up. So very interesting. It's obviously too early to use home road splits, but minus 183 is probably too much. I guarantee you that has dropped since Joe Ram in the lineup here. Market, I mean, the most unsurprising thing ever. 95% of the bets and 98% of the money on the Cleveland Guardians here. Totals wise, 92% of the money and 92% of the bets on the over. Jesus Christ. Does everyone just get together and just say, hey, guys, let's all bet the Cleveland Guardians in the over in this game? Jesus. Minus 195 was the opener. This actually is now down to minus 160. That's crazy. I'm not going to bet the Oakland A's here, but that's just a crazy fucking movement. And total opened up at 8, now down at 7.5. Again, no Joe Ram. Definitely hurts. I would actually say he might be worth that half run. But no action for me here, Troy. I want to hear your thoughts.
I don't know. I thought this was going to go the other way. I thought that this had potential to fit the cash cow trend. I would like to see it cross the 200 because the cash cow definitely performs better. I know the range is between 250 and 180, but it performs significantly better once you cross that 200 mark. And you see with low totals, the win rate come down to an unprofitable range in this type of market. But we're going the other way. So I don't even know why I'm referring to that. I don't know if this will even sniff where it needs to be for me to move on the Guardians. So right now it's athletics or nothing. BB's numbers, they have not been great this season. Like you said, getting shelled by the freaking White Sox is an embarrassment. And he's had slightly worse expected numbers than his actual numbers. And I don't know if this A's team was probably league average or something, if I remember correctly, versus left-handed pitching. I don't know if they're going to be able to get to him. It's not like I want to put a bunch of faith in the Athletics lineup. And Stripling, his numbers don't look good at face value, but his expected numbers, they do suggest some favorable regression. But he doesn't have very good numbers versus this lineup, that's for sure. There's definitely a gray area in this game that I don't want to be a part of. I'm passing.
Yeah, pass for me, but it's A's or nothing here for me.
I agree.
Yeah, and Fernando's asking about the trust in the A's on the road. I'd rather bet the A's on the road than at home, for sure.
Here's a stat for anybody who cares. When you got 70% of money on the over and the total opens at 7 or 7.5, it's 9-5 to the over. I don't know if that's of any value to you. And it's actually 13-7 to the over, 9-5 if it moves to the over. So I guess you'd want to see this close below 7.5, and below 8, and bet the over. Maybe I will.
Maybe I will.
I guess in this game I lean the over instead of leaning the A's.
Yeah, I lean A's here. I probably agree with you with the over lean, but I definitely lean A's. Maybe a team total if you don't want to back Ross Stripling there. All right, great game yesterday. Even though Baltimore ended up going up 7-0 immediately, in Royals Orioles, and a lot of people are starting to talk about, hey, maybe this is a playoff series. Wild card Orioles and the Royals win their division. Very well could be. Who knows? But I mean, I'll admit it. Just like everyone else, I'm sure. You see that plus money with the Orioles, you get interested. You're interested immediately. Seth Lugo has been as good as his 3-0 record says. I mean, he could have been acquired by anyone this year, but the Royals stepped up and signed him immediately, which shout out to the Royals. 7 innings shutout against the White Sox, as you're supposed to do. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. 6 2/3, 8 hits, 1 earned run against the White Sox again. And 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs against Minnesota. Now, you could tell me White Sox, Minnesota, all bad hitting. And the Astros, I think, are regression this year. So 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, maybe not impressive. Sure. But this Royals offense is scary. It's good. The Royals are starting to become for real. I had my guard up this whole time. I just don't know about this Royals team, but they're starting to look for real. They're 14th against lefties this year, 106 weighted runs created plus thus far. It's a tough one. Market in this game. Let's talk about it. Wow. Man, oh man, Troy. I have a feeling we might be on the Orioles.
Surprise.
Yeah, we might be on the Orioles in this game. Jesus. 70% of the bets and 91% of the money on the Royals? That's crazy. This line opened up at minus 122 for the Royals and it is now down to minus 107. I saw that and I just immediately refreshed my shit just to make sure. Yep. Minus 107 for the Royals, minus 103 for Baltimore here. Goddamn, Troy, we're going to bet the Orioles here?
I moved on the Orioles as we were talking about the Angels game because I just scrolled on my screen and seen that it moved towards the Orioles. I was waiting for that move. So this is what I got on this game. Well, first of all, I want to touch on the Royals. This is another team that's just rising through the public's ranks. It's crazy because the Orioles were doing the same thing. Orioles are usually the public darling. So to see all this cash and all this sentiment against them is actually interesting to me. So I just filtered it down to when the public was fading the Orioles. The Orioles are 14-6 straight up, absolutely hammering teams in that sample. And if you look at this market specifically, I was waiting on this game because I seen this early on. So I looked at when teams opened between minus 120 and minus 110. And I noticed that right off the bat, the market was extremely efficient, over 60%. So if it moved towards the home team was 16-10. Winning by 0.95 runs on average. So if it moves towards the home team, that would suggest take the Royals, even though it's not a very wide margin of victory. But if it moves towards the road team with all this money and all this sentiment on the Royals, the road team is 6-0, winning by 4.5 runs on average. I have a note that says I'm looking to back the Orioles, waiting patiently. Well, the wait is over. I'm on the Orioles. I moved on a money line.
Yeah, I think I'll join you. I'm on the full game money line. I'm actually getting a minus 104, which is, you could say shit odds for what it was, but I got to be on them. I'll take them. So
I mean, what do you think about Lugo? I really, when I watch him pitch, I feel like he's pretty solid, but I mean, I just don't know. But
yeah, I mean, I think he's I'd say he's above average pitcher. Like he'd be like a solid 3 in like a playoff team. Like if I've had Seth Lugo coming out as my third pitcher, I'd be pretty happy. And that's kind of what the Royals have, which is pretty impressive again. But yeah, let me bring up good old Seth Lugo against the Orioles because I want to see if he has any familiarity there. I don't assume so, but I wanted to see. Yeah, there's only 2 games in 2021 and 2018, and that was too long ago. So yeah, okay, I'm on it. Orioles, full game money line. I can't wait. I thought about adding first 5 here as well, but I'll just stay
You know
off.
what, man? I might have to increase my position on this because I mean I can't find there's really no database spots this year. The road team is undefeated and it's in this type of market. It's 4.6 runs, so I've been one tick above. I mean, every time I filter the database different ways to try to get an edge in this game, just seeing how the market's reacting. I mean, it's got to be. I'm gonna add. This will be a 2-unit play for me, and if it's that's the final straw. I'm adding a unit to the Orioles right now. I love the O's in this spot.
You know, Troy, you could get to O's -1.5 at +160 if that interests you.
You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to split the next unit between -1 and -1.5.
All right. Well, I'll add first 5 with you in solidarity, Troy. I think that the Orioles get it done offensively today. So let's get it done. Or I probably should be betting team total there, actually.
What did you say the 1.5 was for the O's?
I have my +160 for -1.5. So
I'm not getting a good number. I feel like that. I'll look
by the Hunter Brown official switch on my site has happened here. It went down to -162 there for the Astros. I can bet the 3.5 at -125 for the Nationals. I think I will. Don't love laying that juice. Dog into a favorite. Blah blah blah. But I think Hunter Brown is vulnerable here. So all right. Let us keep it pushing here. And I actually want to, before, real quick, check and see what an Orioles team total was here. And I could bet that instead of a first 5. And I'd actually like to do that. Orioles team total 4.5 at +105. Again, I was hoping for lower. So I'll just stick to my 4 or my team total and whatever the fuck, first 5. Yes, Darren, so I'll tell you the market for the total here again here. It was 90% of the bets and 89% of the money on the over in this game. So very public over. And this line opened up at under 9 -120. And is actually it really only moved 3 cents because now it's 9 -117 at Bet Online. And we have on Bovada is actually showing 8.5. Very interesting. Bovada.
I'm seeing strong trends to the under in this game.
Yeah, it seems like the under would be the play here, as well as what I'm thinking here, just based off that market. Like again, 90% of the money on the over, and we're going under. So very interesting. I might end up being on Orioles full game and just the under, as well. So we'll see. I'll come back to that game. I don't know about my first 5 yet. So we'll come back. But yeah, I'm going to be doubled up on this Orioles game in some form or fashion. Next game, Tigers, Minnesota Twins. I feel like I've gotten this series just wrong every time. And I feel like the first game of the series is so important for me because if I hit my bet, I'm going to be wanting to go to that series or more, I guess. And if I lose, I'll just immediately stay off or be disgusted by it. And that's what I feel like it's been for this series. I haven't been able to get it right. But the last time Louis Varland was out, or pitching, I should say, I backed him, and he fucked me hard. But again, the market is kind of indicating that he's going to have a decent start here. It did last time when he went 5 innings, 11 hits, 6 runs, only 4 of them earned against the Orioles. But in this matchup here, we've got, let me see here, 55% of the bets, only 36% of the money on him. Sharp money, 45% of the bets, 64% of the money on the Tigers there. But this line opened up at -107 for the Minnesota Twins, and it's just steadily climbed up. -115, -125, now -120 for the Minnesota Twins. Very interesting, Troy. Any thoughts on this game?
This market changed completely from where I have it mapped right now, but I'm going to have to touch back on this game. But I was actually originally thinking an under would be the best play in this game. I know Louis Varland's numbers have been terrible this year, but you bring up a good point with last time the market backed them, right? And he's been through a gauntlet with the O's, the Dodgers, and the Brewers. And the Tigers, they can't hit right-handed pitching. It's been 2 years consecutive they can't hit right-handed pitching. And Mizey, whatever his name is, his numbers aren't that much better, and are getting better, and they should continue to get better. He's a young pitcher coming into his own. I like to back this kid, and I found a lot of trends backing this under, and it was something I really wanted to discuss coming on here today. But I'll have to wait and play around a little bit because I don't feel comfortable with where it currently sits.
It's interesting. This under, I saw someone else saying the under in the chat, 79% of the bets, 76% of the money on the over. And Troy, I think yet again here, this was 8.5 and now it's an 8. So I'm trying to find this game again. Yeah, this was 8.5. You could tell me it's an 8 because it opened up at 8.5 minus 120. So you could tell me it opened up at 8, but still, it's moved towards the under with all that money on the over here. And again, like we're gonna see, because I feel like yesterday was a lot of the same for those games, I guess, for those markets, and I got crushed. So we'll see here. But the under again is appealing to me as well here, Troy. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And so are the Twins.
Why is all this money? What is going on? Like, why is all this money coming in on the over?
My guess is that they look at Louis, like, public better number one looks at fucking Louis Varland and pulls up his game logs. 6 runs against the Dodgers, 3 runs against Milwaukee, and then you should just pull up good old Casey Mize. And he's not, I guess, highly thought of, but he's pitched pretty well, actually. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. I just feel like the Louis Varland factor makes me feel like an under. But yeah, I like the under here. I do like the under here, and it's just getting over that for me, getting over the fact that Louis Varland has already fucked me once here. Rogue Energy likes the over.
This matchup has played to the over between Tigers and Twins.
Eric Jones saying 19 and 10 straight up spot for the Twins here, and a 10 and 26 spot to the under. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, Eric, you know what? Might have to join you on the under here. Eric, I might have to join you on a under here. So I'm going to be on, what were we saying? The Orioles under, correct? We were talking about that just now?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll take both unders here. So I'm going to be on the under 9 for the Orioles-Royals game, minus 115, and under 8 at minus 110 here for me, respectfully, there. And like I said, I'll repeat it one more time for you guys. 45% of the bets, 64% of the money on the Tigers there. Line has moved up towards the Twins, interestingly enough. And for the total, 79% of the bets and 76% of the money on the over. And this line has dropped. So may God have mercy on our souls here, ladies and gents. Let's hope that the gambling gods are in our favor. Nasty Nate dropping a Kristaps Porzingis over 3s for the Celtics game. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate. I'll be watching that game. That'll be the first NBA game I watch in fucking months. I don't watch that sport, but God bless them for telling the officials to stop behaving like assholes after the All-Star break. All right, let's go to Milwaukee, St. Louis. And we've been kind of a slow pace here, so we'll kind of speed it up here for all you people. We appreciate you guys hanging in here with us. Brewers, Cardinals, Sonny Gray, Colin Ray. I was pretty surprised to see such a heavy price on Sonny Gray here, but shout out to him. When he came out this year, me and Jimmy were both on it immediately that, he didn't really need much of a runway to go. He's an old man pitcher. He kind of knows what he's doing at this point, and he's solid. He's been great this year against a Brewers squad that I'm going to be interested to see how they do against him because, boy, oh boy, this Brewers squad is confusing for me. So Sonny, first 2 starts at Oakland, 6 innings, shutout. And no walks either in either one of these starts. So shout out to him. 6 innings, shutout, 4 hits. Philadelphia started his season 5 innings, 5 hits, shutout again. Been just phenomenal. And he was the runner-up for the Cy Young last year, if we can remember. So it's not like this is a rare thing. So shout out to Sonny Gray. Colin Ray on the other side. I mean, he's had his moments of brilliance. He's had 2 back-to-back pretty good starts, 3 earned runs against the Orioles in 5 2/3. I consider pretty good. It's funny. We bet, I forgot what it was yesterday, but it was against the Cardinals, I believe, and they scored like 10 runs. And we talked about on the show how they scored more than 3 runs twice in the last 2 weeks. I just don't feel like the Cardinals offense, as bad as it's been, I don't think it's going to just replicate another high-scoring offensive performance here. So I leaned under first looking at it here. Market, let's talk about it. 72% of the bet, 66% of the money on the Cardinals here. This line opened up at minus 142 and just rised up to the Cardinals, now minus 160. Kind of not surprising on that aspect. Totals-wise, I mean, Jesus Christ, am I the asshole here? 81% of the bets and 80% of the money on the over? Jesus, maybe I'm just a fucking dick, guys. Who knows? This line opened up at an 8.5, but it was a juice, so we'll just call it an 8, minus 110, and has dropped to 7.5 here, minus 115. Troy Torrence, what do you think about this game? Am I about to bet another under?
This market is somewhere where I like to bet the home team. Line between minus 170 and 150. Market moving towards the home team in a total of 8 or less. The home team is 19-9 straight up, 7-2 this season. And if you add in the factor that 60% plus of the bets are also on the home team, that makes it 13-3 straight up. So that's 81% on the money line. We need 62% to be break even in this, in this market at this price. And this is just another example of a public spot that cashes. So right off the bat, I started this game off looking at the cards, and you look at the matchup between Sonny Gray and Colin Ray, and I like it. Colin Ray, 2.7 ERA, but he is at 6.27 expected ERA. He's very lucky to be hoisting the numbers he currently has, and Sonny Gray's Cards' best pitcher has been so far, hands down, with a .194 expected batting average, 1.75 expected ERA. If there's any time to back the Cardinals, it's with Sonny Gray on the mound, facing a sweep at home with this market environment that's very favorable for the home team. So I'm splitting up a unit. I got a half unit on Cards first 5 minus a half. I got Cards -1, minus 110 for a half a unit, both plays.
I think my favorite thing about the way you cap, Troy, is that when you've got your angle, you put every fucking bet you can on that one side. And when you're right, you fucking obviously cash out gigantic. That's what you did in football season, for example. If you like one side, you just fucking put it in everything. Take
the spread, take the money line, take an alt spread if you have money line parlay. And here's the thing is, like, with my unit size is less than 1% of my bankroll, much less. I have a $100 unit size. It's easier to track. So really when I'm betting, 2-3 units, that's more along the lines of 1%. So, maybe I should specify that when I'm posting my action, because, and that's another way. The way I do this is to get the average line that I'm taking down. I don't want to pay minus 162 on the money line and that's it. Like, bet it a few different ways, add a double result. That's something I've used that doesn't work out for me in MLB. I've been unprofitable betting double results in MLB, so I'll have to look at that. But I don't know, just kind of talking through my process.
No, we appreciate it. We like diving deep into the mind of Troy Torrence here. All right, I think I'm going to be on this under as well. I was trying to decide
Professor
first
Chris,
5 or full 5.
Professor Chris is on the Brewers.
Yes, it seems like it.
See, I need to get with somebody like Professor Chris or Ron Lofton or Ron Crawford and see what their models look like. And I would love to incorporate, a traditional model and, bottom up approach, like, what is it called? Originating, which I've tried to do before. I just found it to be so fucking hard. But if you incorporate like the market information with traditional model, like if there's some way to blend the two, Jesus, maybe that's where the sweet spot is.
Yeah. By the way, he said that he has his model had this game in almost a pick 'em.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Very interesting. And by the way, Jake Burns didn't even realize it was you, Troy, this whole time. Jake had no idea it was you. So it's nice to see you, Jake Burns, in the chat as well. Yeah, I'm going to be on the under. I don't, like I said, I'm trying to specify if I want to be on first five or full game under. And I got fucked yesterday like this. It's funny. I bet 2 days ago, I bet first five full game under in the Braves Rangers game. I split them. So, okay. I won on the first five, lost on full game. So yesterday I was like, okay, I'll just bet the first five. I lose first five, full game cashes, of course.
See,
And
that's the thing too, man. I think about these first fives, and my database is obviously based on full game. And I've not been like my ROI is much better if you remove or omit all the first five plays I've made. Even in basketball, like, I don't even do it in NFL. I really don't bet first half. I don't know. It's something to think about. This first five markets are really beatable.
I've been thinking the same thing, and it's because like I'm looking at the lines. Like, for example, I'm looking at like the 8.5 total, and it's or 7.5, whatever it is now, and it started at 8, blah blah blah. But it's like I'm looking at the full game line. So why would I not bet the full game? Was what I ended up thinking about this year, and that's kind of what I've ended up doing. I'm on full game under 7.5 as I bet this now. I did look up just to see first five line movement for this or for total. It went from 4.5 to 4 pretty quickly. So I'll take the 7.5 full game. But yes, it's definitely something I think about as well there for sure. All right, let's keep it rolling here. We have a doubleheader to talk about here soon. I was pretty shocked to see a doubleheader on our card, but god damn it, we need to talk about Troy Torrance's Cubs. We need to talk to your dad, obviously. We need to figure out, does he think Kyle Hendricks is done? Because I think he's done. He's washed up. It's time to put him out back.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy my dad fucking despises, Kyle. Well, here's the thing. You don't despise. I don't want to say despise because he loves Kyle Hendricks. Man. This guy's a Cub, bleeds Cubby blue. I'm not fucking playing. This man is the true, he's the model of what a Cubs fan should look like. From the armchair fucking coach, just everything about this guy is just Cubs blue, through and through. He hates Kyle Hendricks this season. He won't put a bet in on Kyle Hendricks. Every time Kyle Hendricks is pitching, he calls me and says, "Hey, you're not on the Cubs today, are you?" And the thing is, and this makes me think, I just said in chat, like this game makes me think about Dabby Cat because he told me when I was out in San Antonio, he said something that just kind of stuck with me. And he says, in the MLB, you find a team, or even in all types of sports betting, any sport you want to talk about, you find a team, you find a pitcher, you find a spot you want to back consistently, and you don't miss a spot. You bet it every time it comes into play because, I mean, that's if your thesis is correct, and if you're a good handicapper, at the end of the day, like betting the cash cow trend, for example, or betting the Cubs in this example, betting the Browns this season in the NFL, up until the bloody end, the very bloody end that I faced against the Texans. I mean, it's all been profitable things. So I'm going to continue in this spot. I mean, we know like Kyle Hendricks is terrible. All the numbers support this thesis, but if there's any team he's going to bounce back against, it's going to be this Marlins team who actually have been kind of getting to right-handed starters. But Edward Cabrera on the other side, he's a pitcher I like to back. It's a pitcher that I believe in. I think he's the best pitcher on the Marlins team. And if, it's a very tight range in this database. Let's see if anything changed in this market. It's actually moving towards the Cubs now. That gives me a little bit more confidence than where I currently was sitting earlier. But basically, I had a Cubs ranging between 53% and 65% on the money line, which could be profitable or unprofitable. See, usually that range is on one side or the other of profitability. In this case, it's kind of right in the middle. So I think that the average line, the average landing right on break even around 57% in this game. So I feel like this is probably a break even play in the long run. But I'm going to take the Cubs. Dabby Cat made that point. I'm going to be on the Cubs.
Wow, I was surprised to see that you're on the Cubs. I thought this was gearing up to fade Kyle Hendricks here. Honestly, it's very interesting. I'm not going to move on this game. I have I looked at how many bets I have, and I told myself going into today's show, I was like, okay, I need to have like 3 bets max, and I already have 6. So, but it'll be okay. I'll fucking figure this out. And by the way, I have tweet notifications on for Jimmy. And so I know when he tweets, and I just saw that he tweeted out Angels, Cincinnati, first 5 under 5 and he's on Angels first 5 money line as well. So
It's been
Jimmy,
a popular pick, I feel like. It's been like in the community, in the pub sports radio community.
yeah, Jimmy. It's funny, Jimmy. When Jimmy likes a pitcher, it trickles down to everyone, and it trickles down to me with Clark Schmidt, and Jimmy likes Soriano, and then Winetime loves Soriano, backs him up with that, and now I'm backing Soriano, and he's back on it again. So it's one of those things as well. It's very funny. And I also do love when like plays that we talk about, like for example, like the All brothers. Like they do the minus 300 fade, and they do they're doing, I should say, the Orioles thing like we did last year. Everyone knows against the minus 300 fade, blah 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 blah. But me and Jimmy bet the Orioles for a long time.
I remember that, yeah.
And now he's doing it for the full season and tracking it. So like I like seeing all this shit happen, and it makes like, oh yeah, people are watching and listening. That's great. And it's nice to see like when fucking Tim's doing that Orioles thing. Like I don't have to put my money on it to watch it and see how it's going because he's tracking it. So that also helps as well. So, all right, let's keep it rolling here. And Dabby Cabby, all right, there are opinions of Jimmy's that are not as good, and that, you know, Lance Lynn may be one of them, but shout out to Lance Lynn. So appreciate that. And I think, guys, obviously you guys know I'm very heavily invested in Liverpool. I think my boy Trent just scored, so it's good vibes here. Much better mood than last time we were on the program. All right, let's talk about this doubleheader. I don't like betting doubleheaders, so we could be, you know, pretty quick about this, I guess. But George Kirby has struggled in the last few starts. I still believe in him. I don't want to back him here, especially in Coors. Cal Quantrill, not good anymore. I said this yesterday with the Marlins doubleheader. You can kind of tell when teams are like, or what games teams want to win. You know, when they have an advantage. George Kirby is not the guy they wanted to go up against here, so they just go up against. They just throw Cal Quantrill in the mix. Game 2, Emerson Hancock versus Pete Lambert. I mean, Pete Lambert's 2-0. Is it as simple as Pete Lambert's 2-0 and Cal Quantrill's 0-2, and they think he's better, so they throw him against the worst starter? So I'd probably expect a split here. Kirby and the boys win game 1, and then, you know, Pete Lambert and pitches pretty decently, and the Rockies find a way in game 2. Market for game 1, unsurprisingly, 93% of the bets, 98% of the money on the Mariners. 63% of the bets, 81% of the money on the over. And by the way, I settled that money on the Mariners here. This line opened up at minus 175, got up to minus 190, and settled around minus 185. So 10 cents. Should be a little more, I'd probably say, but I'm not betting on either one of these games. Troy, any action on game 1 or 2?
Dude, this Rockies team is contaminating my database. I fucking hate them for that, because there's some trends for big home dogs that you want to back, and you want to have in your back pocket and be able to bet them. But now that they're contaminating the whole sample, it's pretty ridiculous. I can't. This is a pass for me. I always find, you know, trends and creative ways to be on this Colorado team. I'm done. I'm 0-4 betting this team this season. I'm just not going to continue down the same path. I know every day and every game should be different from the last, but fuck that. I'm done with this Rockies team. We could just pass. Well,
shout out to Steve G. Betting against the Rockies every day.
Oh yeah, Steve G. I've been.
It's been great, and I've been watching that too. Same thing with him. He's been fading his favorite team, and it's been cashing. So
hey, that goes to Dabby's point that I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, as a handicapper, you want to be able to like evolve and morph and be able to find new ways to find value and to beat the books, because you got to be like, you know, you got to be a pioneer to some aspect. The books are just going to continue to get sharper. So, finding a spot, fading it, or backing it every time. I love that idea. I'm going to start implementing it more.
Yeah. I think it's hard to do sometimes because, you know, like, for example, the market won't be on your side, blah, 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 and you just still got to do it. You just still got to do it. So shout out to all those people that can do that. And
and to Steve G, he says, if your database said bet the Rockies, throw it away, Troy. And I'm like, yo, that's absolutely exactly what I'm doing. I'm not even going to profile Rockies games anymore, because It's going to tell me to back the Rockies most likely. So I'm done with it though.
Well, Troy, you said evolve. You said I'm just trying to become a Blastoise here, man. I'm just a Squirtle trying to grind. Squirtle just trying to grind.
No,
here.
I think you evolved to Wartortle now. You're stage 2.
Oh, nice. Great. But this guy fucks, though, so I kind of want to stay as a Squirtle. Shout out to Squirtles all around. 85% of the chat has no idea what we're talking about. So let's get a Diamondbacks Giants here. Merle Kelly, Jordan Hicks, a good pitching matchup that I'll be, excited to watch. Shout out to the market for being right about the Giants game yesterday. My guy Peasy and Cab were on the Diamondbacks. I was on the Giants. It's kind of funny. I got crushed yesterday. That was my only win. But for the show's Saturday record, it's still going to be a loss because 2 of them and 1 of me. So it's very funny nonetheless. But this is going to be a fun pitching matchup. Shout out to Jordan Hicks, who I heard Jordan Hicks wants to be a starter for fucking like 3 years. He wants to be a starter, and people gave him the opportunity, but always was like, yeah, you're a reliever, and just kind of stuck him back in there. And the Giants gave him the full runway to become a starter, and he's pitched really well. I can't really knock the guy at Miami. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Washington Nationals, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Padres, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. And that was on a back-to-back against the Padres as well. So I'm very impressed with Jordan Hicks. Merle Kelly has just kind of kept doing his thing. He's been solid as well. Chicago Cubs last time out, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and a home run there. Dominated the Rockies in Coors and then pitched well against the Yankees. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. So it's a tough game for me as well here, Troy. Market, an obvious, this is the wake up. You see both these guys pitching. First thing you think of is underplay. So we'll see how the market dictates that. 73% of the bets, 46% of the money on the Giants here. So you can say bigger bets on the Diamondbacks. Very interesting. And hilariously enough, 85% of the bets, 80% of the money on the over in this game. It's so funny to me when I'm like, I wake up and I look at this game. The first thing I think about is under, and then fucking everyone and their moms are betting the over. This line opened up at minus 115 for the Giants, and it has dropped. I'd probably agree with that. I think this is like an even money affair here. Minus 106 for the Giants right now. Totals wise here, you guys just heard me saying all that money is on the over. It opened up at 7.5 juice to the over, minus 125, and it's kind of stayed there. It dropped down to minus 115 for the over, but now it's settled around minus 122 for that over. I think the under is very live in this game personally. What do you think here, Troy?
So actually yesterday I was on the 420 stream and we were talking D-backs Giants, and I put it in the database, that spot. I didn't bet it just because I was so sidetracked by the NBA. I love the spots for the NBA yesterday, but the database yesterday was 8 and 2 spots suggesting to back the Giants against Gallon, and it ended up coming to fruition. Yeah. Today is a little bit opposite, and I want to kind of talk to you about this because this is interesting. So you got a home favorite. I have no line movement right now, so I'm not even going to worry about which way the line moves. All I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in home favorite, home team between minus 115, minus 108, getting the home team over 60% of the bets, but the sharp action, the bigger bets are on the road team, right? Home team is 8-1 straight up in this sample. That's 89%. But if I flip the sharp action to where it's on the home team, which it's not, then the road team is 9-4 straight up. So this is telling me that the sharp action, the bigger bets, is usually the most efficient angle you could back in this market. Or the fade, excuse me. You fade the sharp action in this market. You fade the bigger bets. In this case, the bigger bets are on the Diamondbacks. So I would recommend buying the Giants. And I probably won't do it just because I like to use the line movement as my main indicator. But yeah. And actually, if it did move towards the home team, you know what? If this market does move towards the home team, I'll be on it. If the sharp action, the bigger bets, because then you get a 4-0 spot, I'll be on the Giants if this market moves towards the Giants in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, there you go. By the way, shout out to Dami Gun Ricci in the chat. It's nice to see Dami Gun in the chat. I miss you, Dami. It's nice to see you. Mets are performing well. Hope all is well in New York. And Dami, don't you worry. I'll be calling you for a weather report very soon, hopefully. So don't you worry there, Dami Gunn. Let's talk about your Mets here. Minus 250 are the Dodgers. I think that all Dodgers lines are a little inflated, and I think especially with Mr. Zach Gallen on the bump, they're especially inflated. However, Troy Torrance, the first thing I woke up and I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was a Troy Torrance message that just said Dodgers. Cash cow Dodgers here, Troy?
Cash cow Dodgers. And it's not, obviously it doesn't feel the most comfortable when you're backing a team that's in the current form of the Dodgers versus a team that's in the current form of the New York Mets. And to be honest, I don't even need to look at these type of games anymore that fit this cash cow profile. I should just bet it. We cashed now 3 in a row. I'm back on it today. Home teams between, and I'm going to go through these numbers because I think it's important. If I could just bet one thing for the rest of my life, one trend, one angle, it'd be this cash cow angle. No doubt about it, hands down. Home teams between minus 180 and minus 270. Why is the range so wide? Like usually I use 10-cent range up or down. Well, that's because, first of all, you need a bigger sample size. But the other reason is they're all very similar in how they perform in the market. So you get a wide range because it's so consistent. Home teams between 180 270, market moving towards them. 80% of the public bets are on them. 52 and 16 straight up. That's 76% on the money line. That's 62% on the run line. But if the total is greater than 8, which is a key number, we're talking about 41 and 11. That's 79% straight up. 38 and 14. That's 73% on the run line. And if you're also getting some good cash, you're getting over 50% of the cash that's on the home team. So, you got public bets, you got money, you got everything on the Dodgers, and the market's moving their way. 34 and 5, 87% on the money line. 31 and 8 on the run line. That's 80%. It's 10 and 2 on the run line this year alone. Dodgers minus 1.5. I got a money line parlay with the Phillies. I got them double result as well.
All right. Dodgers action for Troy Torrance. He's heavily invested. And I want to find a second team for the parlay here for the Dodgers. I think that second team is going to be the Orioles. Dodgers parlay. We'll see what that works out for us here. But by the way, Orioles.
I don't know the numbers behind this. I want to bring this up to you.
Go ahead.
With the Orioles, like adding that to the money line parlay because that's more of a pick 'em. Like that could just stand as a straight bet by itself. So like maybe the Cardinals,
that's already straight bet. That's the Orioles. I'd be doubling up here basically. Yeah.
Just to get the plus, but then you get plus money knowing that the Dodgers are going to be a massive EV leg on the money line at the end of the night.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see what the price would be with the Cardinals here. I thought about putting in Cardinals and just doing the first 5 here, and I get slightly plus money if I do full game. Chat, let me know in the chat. What do you think the second leg of this parlay should be? It's obviously first leg going to be Dodgers, but let me know as well. Let's move on to our next game here.
I think for me it would be Cardinals. Yeah. For me, it'd be Cardinals or Pirates.
Yeah, I looked at the Pirates. They're another team I looked at because now they're minus 160. So
you know what? They might be falling into the same trend I just talked about with the Cardinals. They might be in that same exact trend now. All right, but we could move on. We're taking too long.
Yeah, we'll circle back to those Red Sox games. Very fun. And shout out to Philly Eagle Flyer, just cashed a first half draw on Liverpool. Very annoying that's a draw in first half for a Liverpool fan, but it's fine. 1-1's fine. Blue Jays Padres here. This is another spot where I was like, has to be a Blue Jays spot here for me. Joe Musgrove, I know, public darling, I'm sure. A guy everyone's seen and cashed on many a time this year, but he's been a pretty good fade operation for us here at Pub Sports Radio. Again, shout out to Moose Money for talking about his shoulder injury in spring that wasn't reported. He's kind of been up and down, mostly struggling in the season. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs against Milwaukee. 4 innings, 4 earned runs against the Cubs. A good start against the Cardinals. 6 innings, 1 earned run. but just the rest of just not good here. And admittedly, the Blue Jays have been pretty hot, and they're going for the sweep here, and I wanted to back them here. Bassett on the road. I like Bassett in general. He's bounced back after two back-to-back bad starts. 1 earned run in each of his last 2 performances over 6 innings against the Yankees and Seattle is solid here. So let's check out the market and see if the market will make me more confident here. 28% of the bets and 47% of the money on the Blue Jays. So Padres are obviously a public darling with 72% of the bets, but only 53% of the money. Makes me feel slightly better. Bigger bets on the Jays there. Totals wise here, we have 76% of the bets and 74% of the money on the over. Interesting. This money line opened up at, where are you? Minus 130, now down to minus 123 here. Man, I think I might be on the Jays full game. Let's see. On the total for the other side there, it opened up at an 8, juiced to the over, minus 115. And now it is even both ways at minus 110. Troy Torrence. I like the Blue Jays here. What do you think?
I don't really know what to think in this game because of Bassett. And I look back at Bassett games. This is a while ago. We know his road markets are completely just outliers. None of them fit the trends within their, the profile that they usually fit in. Meaning he's an outlier pitcher. He doesn't perform well on the road historically, and even this year he hasn't performed well on the road. And Musgrove's been he's the worst pitcher in the Padres lineup in the rotation. It's pretty sad to see. And did he get paid? Did he secure a bag last year or something?
I think he has been paid, but I'll let you know right now.
Yeah,
I'm interested now too.
And I really struggle with this price range quite a bit, but I'm going to have to redo my due diligence on this one, so I don't have much for you guys right now. But I just find I would struggle to find an angle to back the Blue Jays with Bassett on the road.
Sheesh. Let me tell you. See, he got 5 years, 100. That started last year. So he's making $20 million a year. No trade clause from last year to 2026, and 2027 is his last year of his deal.
Yeah, so all that money made him fat and happy. And look, he's getting crushed. He's not hungry anymore. I don't know what it is. I haven't even watched him pitch, but if I had to guess, that's what it is, man. You lose your fucking edge when you get paid like that. It's just the nature of the beast.
Well, guys, don't worry, because he also can purchase. I mean, yeah, you have to. I'm doing it. I'll be backing him on a full game here. And well, I would love to see. I need to check who is available for the Blue Jays bullpen, because boy, oh boy, does the Blue Jays bullpen worry me more than most. So let's check. Yesterday, we're not going to get Jordan Romano. Yeah, I'm just going to bet him first 5 here, because Jordan Romano pitched 17 on Friday, 11 yesterday. I doubt he goes again today. Bowden Francis out, probably a good thing. Yimi Garcia through 19 Friday and 6 yesterday. But the same thing happened the other day. And there's just like a rule that you don't use relievers 3 days in a row, basically. So I don't think they'll use him again today, even though they should. Eric Swanson threw 18 yesterday, so I wouldn't be surprised if he went. And then like Genesis Cabrera could go and Trevor Richards could go today. But those are not guys I want to back full game. So I think it's going to be a first 5 spot for me here. So it's going to be fun here to chat about this last game here. And I'm trying to put in my bet as I say all this. But our last game on our card here includes, Troy, here's your fun fact of the day. The first Darius in MLB history. I was very interested. I was like, how many Dariuses have there been in Major League Baseball history? And there's been 2. This one and one in the Negro Leagues. So congratulations on being the first.
Been 100 years. It's been 100 years since we had a Darius pitching in the MLB.
Yes. So it was very funny. So shout out to Darius Vines. I was pretty surprised to see a minus 150 beside him. And Lorenzen has not been, poor here. So I thought this line should have been a little closer here. But these, Titan offenses going up against each other with shitty pitchers in between, I don't like capping those games, I'll be honest. By the way, Lorenzen went back to Detroit to start his season, 5-inning shutout there, 4 strikeouts, 5 walks. Something to keep an eye out there. Darius on our other side here. He's pitched once, I believe, as well, and it was a good start. It's 4 innings, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run against the Astros. At the Astros. So I respect, but I expect both these guys to get touched up a bit. So no action for me here. 90. Wow, this is crazy. 94% of the bets and 91% of the money on the Braves here in Darius. That's crazy. 74% of the bets and 67% of the money on the over in this game. This line opened up at a minus 152 and it is now minus 165. So there's some movement towards our guy Darius. And for the total here, actually kind of juiced towards the under now. It opened up at minus 115, now at minus 120. So no action for me here. It's going to be a fun game to watch late at night, but I'm assuming they picked this game with this shitty pitching matchup for Sunday because they know everyone's going to be watching basketball tonight. So no action here for me. What do you think here?
Yeah, I don't have action either in this game. And we talked about the cash cow, 180 to 270, right? We talked about actually yesterday I was talking about the Braves being my cash cow. I posted it, with a little cute little cow next to it, and cow eats some money. And we talked about these cash cows at this point. And we talk about, why different price ranges matter. Well, minus 180 to 270 is a lot different than minus 180 to minus 150, because minus 180 to minus 150, market moving towards them, public on them. They're only 9-9 straight up, 6-12 of the run line. It's just a massive difference. That alone just puts me on the Rangers or nothing at this point. But if we just keep seeing this market trickle, and get to 200, I completely flip that sentiment. It'd be Braves or pass. So I'm not going to be looking to bet this game at all.
No action for Troy, and I have officially locked in my card. A lot more bets than I figured here. So I'll start off here, Troy. You can go ahead and get your shit together here, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. But let's get it after it here, guys. Angels full game money line plus 107. Angels first 5 plus 105. Orioles full game money line minus 104. Nationals team total over 3.5 minus 125. Orioles Royals under 9 at minus 115. Tigers Twins under 8 at minus 110. Brewers Cardinals under 7.5 minus 115. Blue Jays first 5 money line plus 105. And my cash cow parlay there. Dodgers full game money line. Cardinals first 5 money line there. I think it's a little like plus 110-ish. I can't do math, and again, my thing doesn't show me the parlay calculator. So I'll do that, and you can follow me on Twitter and see what the odds are exactly. But slightly plus money. Troy Torrence, what is your action today?
I have the Cardinals first 5 in full game minus 0.5 and minus 1. I have the Orioles money line minus 1 and minus 1.5. I got the Dodgers minus 1.5. Dodgers double result and Dodgers Phillies money line parlay. And I got the Cubs money line minus 125. And the only thing I think I'm looking to add here is the Pirates, which I'm going to be looking at moving forward, starting right now.
All right, beautiful. By the way, Nunya dropped this in the chat, and I forgot to respond to this. He asked if anyone wants to be in his fantasy football league next year. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty standard question. And he said, it's going to be 32 people in this fantasy football league. So Nunya, I'm officially interested. So I'll throw my hat in the ring there. I'm very interested to see what a 32-man fantasy football league will be like, and trying to coordinate a draft day is going to be even funnier. So Nunya, I'll throw my hat in that ring if you're still watching here. So shout out. Dami Gun dropping his plays in the chat. Thank you, Dami. As always, thank you for watching. It's nice to see you around here again. Robert Martin, Justin McAvee, George Wood, Rocco Rogers. He's going back to Marcelo Ozuna RBI. Craig Wood, Christopher Comentini. Nice to see you guys. Real Deal Prime. Rants in here. Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, I just saw that, Fernando. That was really funny. I'm glad that they did that. Professor Chris, Old E, Antonio Taylor, and even our guy, what was his name again? Slim Flabo. He's going to right now. I'm sure he's heading on over to the White Sox Stadium to go get himself a milkshake. So shout out to Slim. Troy, thank you for joining me. I know you're just as invested as I am on the Celtics success and our baby boy Tatum. So I am glad that you're on the ride with us. You know, our baby boy Tatum is going to get the job done.
Yeah, that puts us in position to be Celtics fans. I get it. I mean, my wife, come on, Tatum. She's always rooting for Jason Tatum now. I mean,
yes,
she's the one, and she claims to be the one who came up with the name, but I would have to disagree with that. But
where did the name come from? Where did the name originally come from?
So every male in my family, for every person I've ever met, is a TT on my dad's side. So Tom Torrance, Todd Torrance, Tyler, all the different names you get. So there's never been a Tatum, and we wanted to be. I don't know. Yeah, there's just not a lot of good T names. I feel like.
Yeah, you've got Timmy, Tommy, Tyler. That's it.
Troy, Trace. Yeah. Tank. Well, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Funny.
Tatum, it worked out. I think I like it.
Yeah, I think I like it. Well, Troy, don't worry. When Jason's holding up that championship at the end of this postseason run, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. And then maybe, Troy, you can dust off your Photoshop skills and Photoshop your baby into that trophy spot and have it as my boy, Jason, just hold him up. So it'll be great. Appreciate you guys, Justin, all you guys. You guys make this show worth doing. And Justin's going to go ahead and start betting some Tatum props for us here today. So, and I'm thinking, obviously he's talking about your son, like how many times he shits today, the amount of time he eats. Those are the props he's betting, I'm sure. So shout out to you, Justin.
He don't shit very often, so I bet over a half. I put the line at 1.5. You know what I mean? Heavily juiced to the under.
I'll take the over. I'll take the over to make Troy's day a little more difficult. Thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate you guys. Say hey, and we'll see you guys next time.